The self-image is your key to a better life. You cannot rise above how you see yourself. Your self-image acts as the container for what is possible, what is allowed, and what is achievable in your life. The mirror principle, that your inner reality creates the outer reflection that you see. The book Psycho-Cybernetics is all about the self-image and, more importantly, how you can change it to achieve your goals and align with the version of self that will lead you to the life that you want to live, that will lead you to the things you wish to accomplish, to be, and to have. Until you start changing your self-image, you'll be stuck spinning your wheels, making no real lasting progress in building the life that you want. You'll always be pulled back to the familiar container. In this video, I'll share with you the biggest lessons and aha moments I had reading this book. And I've read over 100 self-improvement books in the last 2 decades, and this book is, quite frankly, top 5 of all time. Now let's get into it. The core idea of the book is that your self-image, how you think and feel about yourself, what you think is possible for you and how the world is, directly correlates to the life you are living both internally and externally. It's a fascinating story how Dr. Maxwell Maltz came to this conclusion. He was a plastic surgeon and he noticed that some patients, usually after 21 days of having plastic surgery, would indeed feel happier, more beautiful, more self-confident, and go on to be more successful and achieve more in their lives. But he also noticed some patients who would have plastic surgery and nothing would change for them. They would still think they were ugly. They would still be unhappy, and no amount of changing their outward physical appearance would cause any changes internally to their personality. He began to wonder why this was, and that journey led to research, testing, and learning all of the things that make up this book, namely the concept of the self-image. It also led to the creation of the Psycho-Cybernetics Foundation, which helps people to create a better life by first changing their self-image, and they've helped millions of people across the world. So, if we have this self-image and we cannot rise above it, then how do we change it? Well, Dr. Maltz says the self-image is changed, for better or for worse, not by intellect or thinking alone, but by our experiencing. Wittingly or unwittingly, you developed your self-image over time, usually unconsciously, by your creative experiencing of the past. The experiences that shaped you, and more importantly, how you perceived those experiences, how you emotionally felt about those experiences, is what your inner self-image remembers and lives by. To create success, you must have experience of success. Intellectually knowing it isn't enough. Just as the limited self-image is built by experience, so is the expansive, successful version of you. But what if you have no actual experience of success or of the life that you want to live? Well, the good news is the human nervous system cannot tell the difference between actual experience and experience that's imagined vividly in detail with strong emotion. So you imagine and feel experiences where you are successful, even if it didn't actually happen, because your body can't tell the difference. Thus, you can prime your self-image to be whatever you want it to be, beyond just the concept of success. Most aspects of your personality and how you show up to the world are up for change. And in the book, Dr. Maltz gives plenty of techniques and exercises to help with this practice, from imagination, visualization, relaxation, generating a base state of happiness, how we can prime for success, and more importantly, learn from failure. He digs into our own beliefs, something I talk about a lot on this channel, how you can examine those beliefs, uproot them, and replace them with beliefs that serve you better and are more aligned with the life you want. He believes in what he calls the unconscious success mechanism of creative intelligence, that our rational mind selects the goal, where we want to go, gathers information, gets everything ready, but it's that this unconscious or subconscious success mechanism that ultimately leads us along the way. This mechanism is what delivers inspired action, hunches, and gut feelings that lead us on the journey to our goals. He has a whole chapter dedicated to happiness and how we can cultivate happiness as a mental habit that can be learned and practiced in the present moment. This chapter was very helpful and eye-opening for me, as I've suffered with anxiety, with depression and anger and PTSD. And while I knew happiness was a choice, I didn't have the tools I needed to really create that as a habit for myself. And the chapter was invaluable in helping me change my base emotional state. He says, and I agree, be happy first, and you will be good, more successful, healthier, feel and act more charitably towards others. That happiness is not dependent on external circumstances. It is both the means and the end in and of itself. This book is full of gold and so many things I picked up from it. Another one that stands out to me is this concept: to react positively and aggressively to goals and problems in your life. Do not mentally run away from them. That only creates more stress, more tension, and you still have to deal with the problem at some point anyway. So instead, face them head on and dig into them positively and aggressively. He includes many visualization exercises for all different purposes. Some for relaxation, some for shaping the self-image and success, some for happiness, and a big part of all of these techniques is visualization. And as we learn from the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza, visualizing the goal or the state with a clear intention, experiencing it as if it was happening now internally, and feeling an elevated emotion. This is how you shift, this is how you manifest, and it's also how you change your self-image. And he goes further to say, visualize everything. If you have to give a presentation at work, for example, take a couple of minutes before you walk in that meeting room to visualize how you want it to go down. Same with sports, dealing with family, dealing with friends, anything that you're doing in your life, you can deploy this visualization technique to help prime yourself. See yourself confidently delivering the presentation in the meeting room. See yourself coming home to your partner or family happy in a positive environment. These things have real effects on yourself, but also on your reality at large. And he talks about how to cultivate that winning feeling, that the more we experience wins, the more winning becomes part of our self-image, the more we win. And this is a mechanism observed in nature as well as in human beings. We've all either experienced this or seen it in another person. When they start winning, they're on a hot streak, they're lucky, and everything seems to be going their way. But we've also seen the flip side, someone who loses and then can't seem to stop losing. There is a mechanism here that we can consciously take control of and take the power back to shape our own self-image and by extension, our life. Now, let's talk about worrying for a second. I would bet you've worried about something in the past, maybe even today. Well, think about worrying and how it works mechanistically. When you're anxious or worried about something, you think about all the negative outcomes that could happen, and you probably unconsciously visualize some of the worst outcomes and get that pit in your stomach feeling. Well, this is the exact process Dr. Maltz is suggesting we flip on its head to engage in positive worrying. Think about all the positive outcomes that could happen. Consciously visualize some of the best outcomes and get that winning, happy, excited feeling in your body. You know, what recordings do you play in your brain on a daily basis? Do you constantly ruminate on the past failures or worry about the future? Or do you choose what records play in your mind? Do you remember and imagine past success? Do you dream of a wonderful future? Do you visualize the version of yourself that you want to be? Remember or imagine a scene or experience which confirms that while feeling a strong positive emotion associated with it. You see, we do all of this already unconsciously so much of the time, and typically towards the fear and worry end of the spectrum. But this mechanism is available for your conscious control towards the positive end of the spectrum. And like anything else in life, it just takes practice. The more you practice getting that winning feeling, visualizing success, engaging in positive worry, the easier and more automatic that will become for you. And then your unconscious program is one of positivity, success, happiness, instead of one of fear, worry, anxiety, and failure. Now, I highly recommend that you check out this book. Last I checked, it's like $12 on Amazon, so it's not too much. There's so much more to it than what I covered in this video, and this is definitely in my top 5 self-improvement books of all time. Now, I could go on about this book and the mirror principle specifically forever, that your inner beliefs and inner reality are mirrored to you by external reality. Check out this video where I go deeper on this topic and give you practical advice on how to use this principle to create your best life, along with an example of how I generated over $10,000 a month in my business using the mirror principle. Now, I hope you choose to make it a great day. Much peace to you, my friend.